Just sitting here watching the moon come up. It's a full moon tonight. And they say the wolves like to howl on full moon nights. If you watched my video about a week ago, I was talking about how they introduced Mexican gray wolves back into the forest here in 1998. So there it is, the beautiful full moon coming up. I'm expecting to hear some howling tonight. Okay, I'm going back inside now. Good morning, everybody. So last night was funny because I wanted to capture the moon, and I guess it's tonight that's the full moon. But, you know, it's so eerie when you're out camping in an isolated area. That's why I thought it was so funny, because I was out there trying to capture the moon, but then I came running back into my RV. I'm always like that. I mean, here I am, 50 years old, and I still, when I'm at home, if I hear a weird noise in my house, I still go and run out under my blanket. So, whatever. That's just how I am. But anyway, so today I wanted to talk about this. You know, being a solo female traveler on the road, there's certain, even a male, there's certain things that we have to think about being out here. You know, I'm currently camping in bear and wolf territory. I mean, there's all kinds of wildlife out here. There's bears, there's wolves, there's elk, there's deer, there's coyotes. I'm not too worried about all the other ones like I am the bear and wolf wildlife. Oh, I've talked about this before. I don't want those fears to stop me from doing what I want to do. I love being up here in the mountains, enjoying these cool temperatures and fresh air, and the fact that there's wildlife, it can't stop you. You just have to do your homework, do your research, stay very vigilant, and be smart about how you camp. There's always going to be risks in anything you do, whether it's camping or walking down the street in the middle of a city. But there are things you can do to eliminate those risks. And as I said before, number one is be vigilant. You always want to be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're out here in the forest and in the woods by this wildlife. And like for me, if you're not comfortable, 100% comfortable with dealing with the wildlife yet, start out small when you come camping. Like I did on this trip. I actually started out the trip by camping with a friend of mine who ended up having to leave to take care of different things. And I chose to stay here. I was going to move further down the mountain where there's more people and less of a risk. But I decided to face my fears head on and just stay put, because this place is beautiful. And I really wish we could go outside right now to do some filming while I'm talking about this, but it's kind of windy. It always picks up bad on video. So I'm going to stay in here for a little bit longer. And then once it warms up a little bit more, I might take this outside. So I decided to stay here. And you know, I'm really not far from town. I am at very high elevation here. It's 8,500 feet. So it's much cooler than if I were to go down into town. And it's not that bad down there yet. But I'm only 5 miles away from town, and I'm off a main forest road, which seems to be pretty well traveled, which is why I chose to stay here. if you keep going further up the road where I am, there's lakes everywhere. So people tend to gravitate towards the water. So they're really not coming down here where I am. So I don't have to worry about that. And I know that there's people traveling up there to be close to the water. So I know there's folks up there if something happened. And to the left of me, there's a Christian camp. So there's traffic going down into that area. So I am camping alone, but not really. If there really was some kind of an emergency to where my RV didn't start, if I had a flat tire, if I had some kind of an emergency where I couldn't drive, I know I'm close enough to town that I would pack up my hiking bag and hike my way out of here. Another thing that made me decide to stay here was that I have self-service. If I didn't have self-service here, being by myself, I probably would have moved to where I do. I think that's important to think of these things, and these are all factors to eliminate your risks. Another thing that really helps to not attract the wildlife out here are scents. Bears, wolves, all wildlife, especially black bears, they want easy snacks. The easier they can get to food, the better. The less work they have to do, the happier they are. So remember at night, and this is what I do, usually right before I tuck myself in for the night, I do a full walk around my camp to make sure I didn't leave any food out, any tablecloths that might have had food drip on them, that I didn't leave anything that might have scents on the camping chair, because all that is going to attract the wildlife at night when you're snoozing. I also like to make sure I lock up all my trash. I have small trash cans in here, but when they fill up, I will put them in a larger trash bag that is locked up in the outside storage of my RV. I never leave it out hanging somewhere or sitting on the ground, because they are going to come and make a mess of that and see what they can eat and see what they can smell, and why even give them that chance. Actually, guys, I'm going to put on my sweatshirt and I'm going to take this outside. I want to go sit in the sun, so hopefully the wind won't be too bad in the video. Okay, we're going to try this out and hope that the wind isn't too bad. So another thing I do, since I have self-service out here, is I always let somebody know my grid coordinates and check in with them every night or every morning to let them know I'm okay. In this case, I still have my mom, so I let her know. And like I said, she has my grid coordinates, so if anything happens, she knows exactly where to send the authorities if she doesn't hear from me in a certain amount of time. And since I'm sitting out here filming, I mean, just talking alone should keep the wildlife from getting surprised if they're close by. But anytime I'm outside, either walking or just hanging out outside, I have my bear spray within reach in case they decide to get aggressive. You never know. But the chances of the wildlife coming up to your camp while you're out here are less than if you were in the city somewhere and you were going to get in an accident. You have more of a chance of getting into a car accident than you do being here in camp and having wildlife come up to you. So keep that in mind. Let's take a little walk around camp here. That's my view back there. Isn't it pretty? And one thing you don't want to do when you're out here is you don't want to surprise the wildlife. So if I'm out hiking or out for a walk, I'm always either talking to myself, singing, playing music kind of softly, clapping my hands, things like that. Because you definitely don't want to surprise any of the critters. And it's important to do your research when you're camping in certain places and find out what to do when you encounter these wildlife, if you did. There is a little rhyme which I think is kind of, I don't know. It says, if the bear is brown, lay down. If the bear is black, fight back. If the bear is white, good night. Which, yes, that would mean it's a polar bear. If you come across a polar bear, chances are your chances aren't very good. Black bears are usually the scarier ones. They're probably going to be more afraid of you than you are of them. Brown bears are usually going to be the grizzlies. I came across one of those. Yeah, I would freak out. I'm not going to lie. But they say you never run, because then that just makes them think that you're ready to play and want to be chased. And obviously that's not what you want to do. So what you do is, with a brown bear, you're going to, and this is after you've tried to back away from them and show that you're not a threat to them. If they continue to pursue you and get aggressive, what they say to do with a brown bear is you want to lay down, play dead, and put your hands behind your neck, obviously to protect it, and hope that that's enough for them to leave you alone. Now, if you come across cubs, please, please, please don't go try to pet them. Don't go try to, oh, they're so cute, come and give me a little hug. Don't do that. You know, a few weeks ago on the news, I saw this lady. She was with other people, and they were out in the wildlife, and they were out in the forest, and she came across some cute little cubs. And it's hard, I get it, they're cute. She came across some cubs hanging low in a tree. Well, she thought it would be a good idea to go pick out one of the cubs off of the tree to take a selfie. Not smart. Anytime you see cubs, the first thing you want to do is get away from them, because if there's babies, there's a mama somewhere close by, and she is looking out after those babies. So she is going to come after you, and you do not want that. And what's worse is, sometimes with wildlife, if you put your scent on them, sometimes the mama will abandon them, and that's not cool either. So please don't do that. Just leave the cubs alone, look at them from a distance, and keep going. Oh, and if you see a bear behind me while I'm filming, let me know. I also never go hiking early in the morning or at dusk. Once that sun starts to set, I start wrapping things around camp, and I'm inside my rig or my tent or whatever the heck you're camping out of. The majority of the wildlife likes to come out and eat at dusk and at dawn. And when it's a full moon, they're going to be up all night playing, eating, roaming around. So if you're going to go for a hike or walk out here in this type of territory, try to go in the middle of the day, when chances are they're going to be bedded down, taking a nap, or just resting. And like I said, just continue to make noises, clapping sounds, whatever, sing, so you don't surprise them when you're going down a trail. I try to stay in open clearing so I can see if anything is coming my way. And if I see something in the distance, turn around and go the other way. It's just common sense. But don't let that stop you from enjoying the outdoors, getting the fresh air, and getting sunshine on your face. Sometimes you just have to face your fears head on, and trust me, this is one of my fears. I love camping with friends, but you can't always have the same time off together to be out here. Because of that, I don't want to stop myself from being out here and doing it myself because somebody's not available to come with you. So keep that in mind, guys. I hope you have a great summer enjoying the outdoors. And please, please, please remember, always leave your camp better than you found it. Before I leave here, I've got my work cut out for me. There's a lot of trash outside the perimeter here of the camp. And I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up and try to leave it cleaner for the next person so they don't shut these places down. It's our responsibility to pick up our trash and leave them better than we found them. And remember, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and share my video with all of your friends who may have this concern. Remember, get outside, stay vigilant, don't let your fears stop you from doing what you love. See you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.